I know one thing that we were talking about was SOPs, standard operating procedures, and I do know that's one of the things that you bring to the people you work with. Yes, we're looking at your financial statements. Yes, we're not just recording history, we're helping you write history, but we're also showing you best practices when it comes to efficiently running a business. How do you do that outside of just looking at the ones and zeros?
Yeah, so that becomes a matter of, okay, where are you on your journey? And at your level of business, what kind of structure do you need to have? What kind of foundation is the word I used earlier? What kind of operating systems do you have? How much, I don't have to tell you, as a business scales, it develops deeper, more robust, and more numerous SOPs. But you also want to scale that to be appropriate for the business at that level. You don't want to overwhelm them with SOPs. So it's a matter of understanding as they move through that growth curve, what's appropriate for them at that level. What are the risks that they have to cover off the most, right? So it's, again, a matter of really understanding their business so that you know what levers to pull when. Right? So
Scaling it till it breaks. There's a philosophy that you use. I believe you refer to it as 3 and 10.
The rule of 3 and 10.
Can you expound on that, please?
It's a business concept that the CEO of Rakuten, the Japanese retailer, has formed. And I'm actually, the last year, I'd say I'm really building CFO Collective around this as a value. Okay. It just basically says every time a company triples in size, it breaks. And it's what I've seen. It's true. The last 12 years, I've seen it over and over again. A business at 3 million can't run the same way at 10. It has to be different at 30. It has to grow again at 100. When I say grow again, I don't mean just sales. The processes, the systems, the quality of the people, everything. The management system, the ERP system, everything has to change as the business scales. Because if it doesn't, it won't work. Right? So at 3 million, generally it's a tribal culture where the owner is the center of everything. The owner touches every purchase order, signs every check, or clicks yes to every electronic transfer, does all the sales, makes the product in the back, everything. Nothing happens without that owner having their hands in it. You can't do that at 10 million. Generally speaking, you get to 10, you try to do that, that owner's going to burn out. The business is not going to make money anymore because there's going to be all kinds of profit leaks, all kinds of problems in the operations. You can't scale really beyond 10 million in general on a tribal structure. Yeah, yes. Great, thank you. So then you have to say, okay, we're going to move now as we scale into more of a managerial structure, where now you have an owner who has some kind of management team underneath them. Usually they're long-term employees. You start getting SOPs. Sometimes they're informal. A lot of manual processes, a lot of Excel spreadsheets and things like that. But you start getting some structure where there is some delegation. The owner is stepping back a little bit from doing everything. And you get the first formings of departments. Maybe you have an ops department. Maybe you have a sales department to some extent. You might have a bookkeeper, okay. And now all of a sudden you see the pressure comes down. Things start working a little more smoothly. Profit stuff starts coming again. Cash flow is not a constant nightmare. The owner's not working 80 hours a week anymore, necessarily. That's kind of the goal, right? So 10, 15, 20 million, you start getting up to 30 million, you start feeling that tension again. Because that system you built is really starting to break. Once you move past 30 million, you start getting into the next level, which is multi-levels executive, multi-levels management. You start bringing in professional managers. You start having proper departments, an ERP system. All these things you need to successfully and profitably scale again. And to build a sale-ready business. If the owner is at the center of everything, that's a very difficult business to sell. Because someone can't buy it without keeping the owner around in an earn-out structure, in an awful earn-out structure where no one's happy. and it rarely works, right? So you build that sale ready business. So if something does happen, if life changes, or if a great offer comes, you're ready for it. Or if you're transitioning it to a child, to the next generation down, it's ready for them. Because it's unlikely that they were involved in the business to the extent that you were. That they understand it. Because you birthed this thing. You grew this thing from nothing. You know it in a way other people don't. So how do you build a business that when the second generation comes in, it's going to be safe, it's going to keep going, and it gives them the opportunity to move into that next level. So it's that rule of 3 and 10. It's making sure that as the businesses grow, they have the foundation again, which encompasses different things at different times, so that they can, using the tagline, scale profitably and be sale ready.